Hello, and welcome to the Kick-Ass Irreverent Gaming Podcast, where three lifelong friends gather to talk about video games. I'm Holden. That's Chad.
Hi.
And you're you, and that's why we love you. Welcome to Respawn Aim Fire. This is the
There
E3 day three for Nintendo. Basically, just Nintendo's day.
Just Nintendo Day.
There's some other stuff too, but we're going to talk just about Nintendo. We'll recap everything else at our usual Tuesday episode next week. We're going to talk about Nintendo. What was your impressions, Chad?
I thought it was wonderfully average, just like the rest of E3 so far.
You mean just the rest of E3 in its entirety?
Yes.
It's basically done. I didn't feel it was quite average. I didn't think it was great. I think it was a really solid, good showing. But I wouldn't say it was average. There were some huge announcements here and some just really exciting stuff for Nintendo fans.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm going to have a lot more to say about it than you. But that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who listens to us normally.
Top level view, I feel like we saw a lot of things that we've seen 4 times already. We
like
saw like Daemon X Machina.
Yeah,
and
we saw that.
Fire Emblem's Three Houses. And so like there were a couple of things that were like, all right, I get it. I don't understand why this is still in here. Just give us a date or get out. Mm-hmm. And then there were a couple of really exciting things like Zelda.
Which one?
Well, the other two were things that we've already seen before and we're done hearing about and just ready for them to come out.
They
didn't show us anything new aside from a dungeon thing.
Yeah, I saw the Treehouse. They talked about that. I'll talk about that. It's done.
But yeah, obviously Breath of the Wild 2 sequel.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there was some things that were like finally the Switch is catching up and getting all the cool new games on it, like Resident Evil 5 and 6 from PS3.
All the cool new games like Resident Evil 6.
Exactly. Witcher 3 coming, all that kind of stuff. So like, so it was very much like, cool, Switch is finally becoming a real console and having some real big name games on it that everyone else has had for a while. And also all the games that you already knew about, they're still coming sometime. And also here are a few big hitters that really surprise the pants off of you.
I'll say this. You're not wrong. I think you're right. I think your analysis is spot on. But isn't that far more consistent in terms of big announcements than any other conference we've had?
Consistency means it's average.
No, it doesn't.
If it's consistently the same, that means that it is its own average.
And its own average is better than the own average of every other event shown off. Its own average is in the good level, the solid good level, as opposed to the just straight up average.
Still average, then. Still average.
It's not. You don't make any sense.
Let's say for a Nintendo Direct, in the last year and a half, they've all been about this level of quality in terms of announcements and pacing and all that kind of stuff. So this is, I feel like, still average for a Nintendo Direct, which happens to be good.
I actually disagree with you because last year was mostly just Smash Bros.
Yeah, and you remember when they blew our minds and showed us all the people in the world coming back?
Yeah, that was a big deal. I mean, it was big, and I was excited there, but we had new Zelda. We finally had detailing on Animal Crossing. They did actually show 30 minutes of gameplay of that in the Treehouse. There was a lot more they showed off of that game. There was a lot they showed off of Luigi's Mansion 3. We have a pretty good idea of what that game is now. That looks pretty good.
I feel like I had a good idea of what that game is from the first one.
We know what 2 additional Smash characters are going to be. Again, like Zelda. Let's not throw that aside. That's huge.
Breath of the Wild sequel, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge.
I nailed it.
You did. You totally called it. And Steven totally nailed it calling for the hero from Dragon Quest 11. Totally nailed it.
Although he did not call all 4 of them. He called
I was kind of confused.
Erdrick or whatever.
I think I wrote in here there are also 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 additional characters. Are they all the same character?
I think it's like a Pokemon
trainer.
Squirtle,
you throw them out.
Everyone, yeah.
Or the or some of them Echo Fighters, but I
don't think so, or else they would count separate.
Thing. Yeah.
Or maybe they're just different skins of the same character.
Let's run through some of these announcements. Oh, we're also forgetting the most important thing. We got to meet Doug Bowser finally. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
And that was
if you didn't look him up on LinkedIn already, then now you know what he looks like.
Everyone went to LinkedIn to look up his picture. Starting off, they had one character announced for Smash, and that was the hero from Dragon Quest XI. We already talked about that. They also then showed off the trailer for Dragon Quest XI coming to Switch, which is officially coming September 27th. That is available for Nintendo Voucher.
I think this is going to be the first Dragon Quest game I play since Dragon Quest 4? Dragon Warrior 4, I guess, technically, which was way back on NES.
So you're going to play this on Switch then?
Yeah.
Why not just get it on PS4 right now?
Because Switch is JRPG machine.
That's true. That's a good
JRPGs
point.
you want on the go so you can grind on the bus sexually.
Plus you got that like hour and a half commute on a bus. So
right, exactly.
Yeah. So like maybe like, a week and you're done with that game.
Yep.
So they announced the release date for that, September 27th. Like I said, it's on the Nintendo Voucher program, which is great. We got to meet Doug Bowser, which that was a cute little
real Bowser came out and they're like, sorry, not the right person this time.
But he starts doing the event like, bah, 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 bah. And they're like, all right, stop, Bowser. You're a different Bowser's hosting this.
Yep.
And we didn't really see Doug Bowser for the rest of the event for the most part. But
I like to call him DB.
DB.
Dumpster Baby.
And then they showed off Luigi's Mansion 3.
Ooh, it looks like more Luigi's Mansion.
It takes place in a hotel.
Yep.
It looks great, though.
A spoopy hotel.
A spoopy hotel. It has Gooigi, which is awesome. I love Gooigi. He's basically
gooey
a goo
Luigi.
version of he's a doppelganger of yourself, but he's not good with water. He'll just basically go in the drain if there's any water around him, or he'll lose his form. That was kind of cool. That's still coming 2019. They didn't give a release date on that, which is funny. Like firm release date, March 20th for Animal Crossing, but Luigi's Mansion's coming this year at some point.
Yep.
So I was a little upset with that. I'm assuming it's probably a November game or November, December, in which case they're probably going to announce that at the September Direct. But that stuff looked really good. And the gameplay they showed off during the Treehouse was really fun, really funny. I'm very excited for that game. That looks really good. After that, the Dark Crystal strategy game, The Age of Resistance. Moving on.
Yeah, that was Netflix's. Like Netflix had been like, "We're gonna be at E3, everybody. Guess what we have in store?" And everyone was like, "Oh, Stranger Things again? Trash." And then turns out it was this. Trash.
Oh boy. Link's Awakening was the next one. Great trailer. You can still steal the bow in the shop, that's heartwarming. That's just great to know.
You thief! You're a bad person.
That's how you get the bow so early in the game. You can't get 999 rupees that early in the game. What else are you supposed to do?
Doesn't mean steal it.
It does.
Sirens are on
Awakening, it means steal it. Don't worry, there's a repercussion. If you go back into the store, he'll just electrocute you and kill you. So, also, I'll say I want to be careful here. If anyone noticed in the trailer when you're in the house that you start off in the game, background for it's a little bit different than the background of the other areas, which is a great reference to something in the game that I don't want to mention.
I didn't even notice.
You go back if you finish the game, go back and look for that. It's actually kind of cool little touch.
I think the last time I finished that game, I was like 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna replay it this summer, I think, because I'd like to compare it. They showed off. It comes out September 20th, by the way, as well. So can't wait. Not that far off. I was convinced this was going to be an end of the year game, so I'm really excited it's coming out in September.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that dungeon creation tool.
I don't know anything else about it other than I'm not going to touch it.
Yeah, so they showed it off in the treehouse. Basically what it is, you're not creating your own dungeons. What happens is when you finish a dungeon, you get every room in that dungeon as a tile. And then you can go to the special house that used to be used for, I think, the camera gimmick attachment you can get for the Game Boys. And when you go in there, you're able to make a new dungeon with a template, but you have to link them based on rooms and doors connecting based on the tiles that you have. So you're just really remixing pre-existing rooms in other dungeons in the game.
That does not sound like fun to me. And it's not like a cool challenge thing where you can make a really hard one and make your friends go through it. It's just for you.
Exactly. You can do timed challenges if you want to watch your friend play on your Switch for like 5 minutes while they go through a dungeon that you didn't enjoy creating. So I don't know. That seems strange. I don't really care about that, but the rest of the game looks so good. And all the trailer really was just saying it still looks really great, doesn't it? Now it's coming September 20th, and you know that.
Exactly.
And that's all I really needed to know. I'm so excited for this.
I can't freaking wait.
And again, the September release date that's the big surprise. That's why I'm so excited.
Did you see the adorable amiibo?
I did see adorable amiibo.
It's so cute.
I'm gonna get that one. I haven't gotten an amiibo since the original batch, but I'm gonna get that one.
Did you pre-order it?
Not yet. No.
Bitch, you better pre-order amiibos.
Is it gonna be completely gone otherwise?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Do it right now. I just pre-ordered Solid Snake and Squirtle.
All right. Trials of Mana was next. Do you have anything to say about Trials of Mana?
No, other than I don't know whether... So this is like another in the Mana series. I was confused as to whether this was a remaster of a game or whether this was a new game. Because they were
question.
like... And then we also have a trilogy coming to the West for the first time. Like, what?
After that was The Witcher 3 Complete Edition. Those rumors were true. It's coming this year.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like a graphical downgrade, and I'm kind of concerned that it might not run that well because some of the things in the trailer seemed to be a little laggy.
Here's another thing that tells you how much of a downgrade it is. The whole thing, including every piece of DLC that's ever been released, fits on the cartridge.
Well, they have 32 gig cartridges now.
Yeah, 32 gigabytes is all that you get with this game.
Well, I mean, if you bring the textures down, which is probably a lot of what that
exactly
that is, that makes sense. They would have had to do that anyway to get it to run on Switch. So I guess that's not terribly surprising to me. I see this and I go, is this how I'm going to play The Witcher? Am I going to get it this way? Don't do it, Holden. Don't do it. But I have the feeling I'm going to buy that if it runs well enough. And
just for reference, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was 50 gigabytes. That's just the base game on PS4, not including the Blood and Wine, which was I think even longer than the original campaign, which would put it well over 100 gigabytes.
No, it was 6 hours, that campaign.
There was something that they released that was big. Huge. But anyway.
There were 2 DLC packs. Blood and Wine was like a 6-hour story expansion.
Yeah. They're cutting that way down to fit it on a cartridge.
Yeah, I really think it's the textures because that map is absolutely massive, and cutting down textures seems to be what they did because that tree they showed looked awful. It looked so bad compared to how it looks on a PS4. And so does the character models. Again, they have to get that giant game down to that size, so I can forgive that. After that, they had a trailer for Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which looked like a really generic JRPG story. Not interested in that.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 5 and 6 coming. This was the weirdest thing in the entire direct.
It was really dumb. Really, really dumb the way that they revealed this.
Yeah. It might have been actually the worst reveal of all of E3, I would say.
Yep. Now, if you want to play Resident Evil in a spooky place, and then cut to a trailer where kids are going to a haunted house to play Resident Evil 1, which is already on Switch, but the announcement is to reveal Resident Evil 5 and 6. What? And the trailer was also too long. Surprise.
Yeah. And again, one of those stupid things of people in the real world playing mobile game that is happening around them. I hate those so much. It's another one. This is the most subtle of them, but again, it's one of those. Why didn't they just put a green screen on that Switch and just insert footage of Resident Evil 5 or 6 instead? I have no idea.
Me neither. I was kind of surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because it came out on PS3, but I was surprised to see those two running on Switch.
Why?
I just felt like they were such big games, and
on a 360 and a PS3.
Yeah. I know. That's why
I said is much more powerful than the 360.
I just said in the middle of that sentence, well, I guess it makes sense because they were on PS3. I already made that caveat in my head, Holden.
Moving on, No More Heroes 3 was announced. That's a big deal for a lot of people. I've never played No More Heroes, but that's a big deal.
It was a cool game. It was one of those that on the Wii there were no mature games or things for hardcore gamers. That's why not the Covenant. Maybe it was the Covenant. It was something with a C. It was the first person shooter on Switch. And then there was this game. It was oh my god, they make bathroom jokes and jerk off motions. This is a mature Wii game. So it was at the time it was really cool to see that on Switch, on Wii, but I don't know how I'll feel about this series now.
Yeah, I'm not probably going to play that game. I'm also probably not going to play Daemon X Machina.
Daemon X Machina. We've seen this so many fucking times.
Why good news?
I couldn't tell the difference between any of the trailers. It was just a bunch of robots and explosions.
Yeah, pretty much. It comes in September 13th, which makes me think this is not the last time we've seen it. We'll see it one last time at the September Direct, and then that'll be the last we ever see of it unless they do DLC. But they're really backing this game. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're publishing it, I think.
I know, but like again, why are they even publishing it? It doesn't look that interesting.
People love Gundams.
And it's not Gundams. It's Daemon X Machina.
Gundams is a general term to describe giant robots.
And now it's also an IP. Have you played Panzer Dragoon?
I played Panzer Dragoon Orta, which was a launch title on Xbox. And it's a ton of fun. I really like... Oh, I also played it on Sega Game Gear. There's a Panzer Dragoon on Sega Game Gear.
Would you put it on Switch?
Depends on how much it costs. If it's like $20, I'd do it. This is a remaster of the first game.
It's a remake.
Sorry, yeah, remake.
Yeah.
Obviously not a remaster of a game from
reboot.
a trillion years ago.
If you had said it was just a remaster, that would have made sense. It didn't look that great.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But it's a fun series.
There was some Pokemon Sword and Shield information that they really just should have kept in the Pokemon Direct last week. It works with the Pokeball Plus for some of the functions, just to basically carry a Pokemon with you.
Yeah, it was like, hey, remember that time we made you spend $50 on Mew? Well, we kind of retroactively patched in a fix for you guys to use this on the new one, too. It doesn't work pretty much at all, except you can put a Pokemon in it and make noise.
They should have just said that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Astral Chain story trailer. There's then a trailer for a game called Empire of Sin, which is coming in 2020. Should have Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 stuff.
I'm pumped for that game. I'm not like over the moon, but I'm excited for that game.
How does the Avengers game from Crystal Dynamics change this for you, or does it?
They're 100% different games.
Okay.
Yeah. This one is all about like hack and slash with friends and just nonsense beat 'em up with cool powers.
Okay. I had the feeling that's going to be pretty similar to what the Crystal Dynamics game is going to be, which we still haven't seen gameplay for yet. I thought we'd see some of that today. Cadence of Hyrule is coming June 13th in 2 days.
Yep.
Why not just release it today?
June 13th. That's a Thursday, not a Friday, right? In my head, that was a Friday. And I was like, oh, I guess entertainment releases are starting on Fridays now. But nope.
No. Well, Nintendo usually does do Fridays for their own games.
Yep.
I don't know why they did that. That's strange. But I already pre-purchased it.
Well, remember, it's also not a Nintendo game.
It is from, what is it? Something Brave Souls or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, no, but it is still... It has their approval on it. There's no way that they're going to release a Zelda game with Zelda characters in it that's garbage or even mediocre.
Sure, I'm not saying for quality. I'm saying they might not have had 100% of the decision over when it came out because it's not their game.
Oh, I know, but like, what would be the decision to delay it 2 days? Like,
I don't know. It's an indie developer. Maybe they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They've never made a game before. Nintendo just like, hey guys, here's Zelda.
Yep.
Yeah. No, they have.
Handing that out keys left and right.
Mario Sonic Olympics in Tokyo.
Great, whatever. Cool. Never gonna play it, but a lot of kids will for Christmas. So.
And then Chad's favorite game, Animal Crossing: New Pathways.
This game looks so fucking stupid. It just validates everything I've ever said about Animal Crossing. Bitch goes in there, gets a couple of twigs, and makes a cloud on a workbench and says, I made an axe! But then it's not an axe, it's a toolbox that she's actually holding up. I'm like, come on, woman.
Oh, you can make axes. You can make other stuff with it as well.
Yeah, but the picture of what she's holding up is a toolbox. And then she's like, look, it's an axe! And you're like, no, it's not.
Oh, that's
Bitch,
just how
open
Animal
your
Crossing
eyes.
has always been.
Yeah.
Tools always look like that.
It's 2019. We can have individual icons for every type of thing you can make now.
Maybe that's why they delayed it to 2024, is they needed to be able to make axe icons.
And that's the one part of the trailer they decided to show off today, is the part that wasn't finished.
Exactly, yes. Yep. No, I actually think this is a really big deal. Some of the things they showed off got me super excited.
I'm just looking at the list of things that excited you. Shoveling trees.
It is.
Making pathways.
Okay. Here's why. That was just what's in the trailer. There was a lot of stuff in the treehouse that was oh, okay, cool. So you're really changing this up in a nice way. Not revolutionary like Breath of the Wild was, but like, for example, that crafting. That crafting is a really big deal, and here's why. Here's one thing that always annoyed me about previous Animal Crossing games is that you have to use like an axe or something like that to cut down a tree, but then your axe has durability and it will break eventually. And durability mechanics, we've talked about that before. What makes this one particularly bad is that you can only buy an axe from the shop on certain days, and you don't know when those days are going to be because they only keep 2 tools for sale in that store per day. So you'd go back and they'd be like the flowering, the watering can, and I don't know, the shovel, and you're like, fuck, I need the axe right now. So you can just craft an axe, and that's a huge relief. That's wonderful. Shoveling trees. Here's why that's nice. You'd have to cut the tree down and then shovel it. Now you could just shovel it all in one go. That's awesome. The shovels also don't break, so the whole like cutting of the axe to break it, that's not really going to happen anymore. Because
well, then why do you need an axe anymore? What are you crafting an axe for?
I don't know. We'll have to find out later on when we play the game. But the crafting is exciting to me. That's really nice. They also have like literally they called it a frequent flyer miles system, where like you get points just for doing things in the game that you can then trade into buy different items or buy certain stuff in the world. But again, what they talked about, what will award you these points is nice. It's things like picking weeds, where you'd have to pick up weeds. I know you're laughing, Chad. You're literally smirking.
Keep going. Keep going.
You have to pick weeds because maybe you didn't pick your weeds in the area or they collected over time. It was just kind of annoying to do that, but now you actually get a reward for doing that and keeping your town clean. It looked really nice for that stuff, but the going even bigger, they didn't really talk about this too much. I'm kind of speculating this, but it doesn't seem like a big speculation, to be honest. It seems like this is definitely what's going to be happening. They showed Tom Nook has a tent, you have a tent, and you're on a deserted island. I think you're going to be working up this island, so that's basically just like a town from Animal Crossing again. You'll have an actual house. Tom Nook will end up having like a building, and you're just building everything up from scratch, which is very reminiscent to what they were trying to do with New Leaf, which is that you have a town that exists, now you're the mayor for it, so you're going to be adding in bridges or putting in lampposts in your town, like creating big projects for the citizens of your town to kind of fund and work towards. And I feel like they're taking that to the next level with this deserted island and making the island built up from the ground up. I think it looks awesome. I'm so pumped. And Chad looks equally excited on the other line over here.
I don't get it. I literally, I wish if I could just, I'm going to have you listen to this episode and listen to everything you just described and then tell me that sounds fun.
No, I totally get that it doesn't sound fun, but it's like Nintendo, they make everything like a toy. And it just has charm all throughout it when you're playing it.
It's
like when you pick a weed, it's satisfying picking up a weed because they add this cute little animation to the character, and he's struggling and has like sweat coming out of his head and stuff like. There's just little cute things they add to it.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I think this looks awesome. One thing that was missing was they didn't really show a lot of the animal villagers.
I hope they're all dead. I hope they drowned.
So I think that's something that they'll be talking about later on. We'll move on now because I think Chad's really bored of talking about Animal Crossing, and I think many other people probably are too. They had a highlight reel showing a bunch of other games.
Ni no Kuni!
Ni no Kuni coming. That was a big surprise.
I'll probably
Alien
play it
Isolation is also a big surprise.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that too.
If that's cheap enough, I would play that on Switch.
I already bought it on PS4 because it was like $3, but I still haven't played it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then you have no reason to buy it then. But yeah, Ni no Kuni is the biggest one. They showed a quick glance of Hollow Knight Silk Song, which I really, really wanted to see more of. And then they also had Super Lucky's Tale, which is just notable because that's actually a Microsoft console exclusive.
Yep.
So, excuse me. So Cuphead and Super Lucky's Tale been allowed on Switch. Very interesting.
I think something tells me Super Lucky's Tale, this is like not the same exact game. You can continue to talk about Dauntless.
I have nothing to say about Dauntless. I'm actually looking it up right now. Switch.
New Super Lucky's Tale. Playful Studios today announced new Super Lucky's Tale, a total reimagining of the original 3D adventure platformer Super Lucky's Tale during Nintendo E3 conference. Mm-hmm. So it's not the same exact game. It's a different reimagining of it.
It's still a Microsoft published game.
The original was.
The original was, yeah. It's still, I would imagine they still have some sort of right over that. So just letting it carry over. It's just cool, that's all. And then they had another Smash Bros. Character announced after that, which was
Banjo-Kazooie.
Did. Great fake out.
That was Bottles the mole.
Oh, okay.
And then there's that's Grunty.
Wonderful.
That's Banjo's sister. We're gonna go through the whole thing.
I'm gonna make you go back and listen to this podcast so you can hear how ridiculous you sound.
That's mumbo jumbo. Ooh, bokum. I like that game.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. I don't know why they split up the character announcements like that. That was kind of strange, but everyone's been asking for Banjo-Kazooie. He's finally there.
I think they split them up for the wow factor because everyone was not expecting two, and if they put them side by side, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's also cool." But then we saw one, and everyone's like, "Oh, cool. That's our Smash Bros. Announcement for the day." And then they're like, "Oh, fuck, we're getting another one!" And like 10 minutes later, yeah.
I think also to separate them for release date as well because they're not coming out at the same time.
Also, what a great fucking tease with the silhouette you think is Banjo-Kazooie, and then it's a Duck Hunt dog and the duck. I'm like, okay. I got you. If they didn't immediately then show Banjo-Kazooie, I was going to be pissed.
It would have been hysterical if they just said, like Diddy Kong or something like that. It's going to be a new character or not Diddy Kong. What's the other one? Cranky Kong. We'll do Cranky Kong.
Sure.
That'd be really funny. Everyone would be so pissed.
Yep.
And then last but not least, actually that was the last announcement. Nothing else important happened.
That's right.
Yep.
Cran great.
So they announced the new Zelda game. And that
they
trailer,
did. We saw one interesting new Zelda thing. I'm just kidding.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
You're a horrible person, Chad.
No, I'm going to play both of the other ones. I'm going to buy it this Thursday for the Necrodancer one. What is that game actually called? It's not Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Cadence of Hyrule.
Yeah. This trailer was this is a really good Zelda teaser for how early on this is.
Yeah.
If you look back at like the early Twilight Princess, the early Wind Waker, the early Skyward Sword, the early Breath of the Wild stuff, I think this one got me more pumped than any of them. I think I have a clearer idea of what the Zelda game is than I've had with other Zelda games.
Well, also this one is a sequel, so they have a story they're building off of. They have a world and an engine they're using, so I think it's easier to wrap your head around that this early in the game.
Yeah, but everything with that mummy down there, it has the Gerudo sign on him, which makes me think there's some sort of tie to Ganondorf still in this, and that maybe because the Calamity was still there.
Ganondorf is part of a game in the Zelda series?
Well, it's a sequel where he just fought Ganon, but I think that we weren't... This maybe could change the story of Breath of the Wild a little bit if that Calamity Ganon is something else that we're expecting, because the Calamity was in this trailer. So it's a direct continuation of the villain as well, possibly. That's pretty cool. Also, there's a moment where Link's... there's that hand that's grabbing onto the mummy statue, or the mummy, not mummy statue, just the mummy itself. It's like a green hand. That hand touches Link at one point, and then Link's hand starts to become green, like that.
Man, you were watching this hard. Oh, yeah, you probably watched it like 10 times.
I only watched it 3.
Okay.
But I slowed down for that kind of quick cut where they showed the...
Yeah, you did.
I did, because I wanted to see.
I love it.
They show the silhouette against the wall. I thought maybe that was Demise for a second. It looks like it was probably just the mummy again. But that was some cool stuff where I'm like, oh, is the kind of MacGuffin of this game going to be something with that hand ability? Is that going to give you some special powers? I don't know. I'm pumped. Kind of funny notice something, too, that I went, oh, maybe.
What?
I think it was Tim Geddes. Zelda has shorter hair, which is just maybe a storytelling thing saying it's been a little while.
Maybe new life choices.
What was one of the reasons they made for why she wasn't a playable character in Breath of the Wild is her hair was too long.
What?
Yeah, the animation for the hair.
That's like Assassin's Creed saying, we can't animate women. That's why they don't star in our games. God, game devs are
Link's
so
hair was in a
sometimes.
ponytail. They put in a ponytail for a reason. Maybe they cut her hair for a reason, too. Who knows? Is this the time that Zelda's a playable character in a Zelda game?
I want I want an entire spin-off where you play as Epona, and it's called a ponytail.
That sounds terrible. You can't ever get off your horse.
But it's also spelled Tale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Before I didn't get it, but now that he spelled it out for me.
A ponytail.
It all takes place in
Lawn
Line Ranch. So yeah, I thought this was an awesome showing.
If I cared more about Animal Crossing, I think that would have been the thing that put it. That's why I think you liked this a lot more than I did.
It wasn't just that, though. It was Animal Crossing. It was Link's Awakening. It was Luigi's Mansion. It was... I mean, I'm not a big Smash person, but there were 2 Smash characters announced. They spent all that time on whatchamacallit, on that awesome, like, meeting Doug Bowser, which I liked that a lot. And then every other, like, mid-game announcement, for the most part, I'm like, yeah, I get why this was here. There was nothing... like. The Resident Evil thing is kind of strange, but there's nothing strange like why is there a dog on stage, or why did you have the Just Dance people dancing 3 songs in the middle of your event? There's nothing weird like that the entire time.
I do think this was definitely the most well paced.
Yeah, it's the most well paced. It's also like half the length of all the other keynotes. But whereas I think that a lot of the other keynotes had a handful of good announcements and then not really too much else outside of that. This was just really consistent throughout the entire thing. And to me, that doesn't make an average. To me, that makes it a really solid showing.
I guess maybe I just would have thought highly if I just cared more about the franchises they showed off.
You don't like Luigi's Mansion at all? You're not interested in that at all?
No, Luigi's Mansion doesn't do anything for me.
Have you played one before?
Yeah, you made me play it on 3DS.
Oh, yeah, you didn't like that?
It was okay.
Oh, what's wrong with you, Chad? You don't like Nintendo at all. You don't like Breath of the Wild. You don't like Luigi's Mansion. I'm boycotting you. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I mean, I thought this was a really good showing.
Ooh, I have something else to say. Hold on.
Oh. Very, very nice, Chad.
Yeah, I farted into the microphone, so what?
Well, thanks for that input. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You are the Lord's grace. All right, everyone. That's our last E3 coverage. Until next week when we do a debrief with Jerica and Steven. Send us your thoughts about who you think won E3 because we want to discuss that on the podcast. Also, send us a subscriber interrogative, damn it.
What a polite way to ask.
Do it. All right,
ask
everyone.
Us questions.
Until next week, here's our usual sign off. Cadoodle-oodle-oo.